So I will just keep here in the JavaScript. So BOM. Okay. And here I'm adding a new file, window.html. Now here we are defining a simple doc type, HTML head and title, and some window. Okay. In the body section, so we have buttons created. So one is open, and another button is like close, and another button like print. So, and here just I will add a heading like window object. Okay. Usually now here the options we have like, so window provides you some properties and methods to control the browser window. Suppose already, if you remembered in links concept, I told you one point like how we can open the browser in a separate window. I told you already. Suppose here I am using so open, and I said some preview, something like this. Now when user clicks on this button, I want to open any file in a separate window, just like advertisements and all these pop-ups. Then we can simply write on click. So here I say open add, and here we are writing a script, and the function is open add. It should open a picture in a separate window. Then we have window object. So window dot open, and here the URL. That means, so which file to open, you have to define the path. The path is just here we are configuring. So dot/. Why? Because currently we are in a separate folder called BOM. You have to come out of this folder for the dot/. Then you will come into JavaScript. You have to come out of JavaScript also. Then again dot/. There you have images. In images we have like shoe.jpg, like this. We have to define the path, and what is the width, means what is the title. I will give as some, so shoe. Okay. How much width and height you want to set for window, we have to define the features. So width is equal to some 400, and the height is equal to 300, like this. So now this is open method. Window open method is used for opening any file in a separate window. And you can see that it is going to open that file. When I click on open button, it is opening in a separate window. That means it should open that in a separate window. So I will save this, okay, and refresh and click on open. Then it should open in a separate window. In a separate window. So it is opening in a separate window. So you can open in a separate window. This already we discussed in the previews, right? We discussed in the preview how do we handle that, right? Already we discussed in links concept. If you are there in HTML links, we learned in HTML about links. You are there, Venkatesh? You are there? We learned about HTML links. You are there in HTML links concept? Already we discussed it there. What is difference between those two? Once verify them. Yeah, already we discussed what is difference between target, blank and window. If you are attending the sessions regularly and you are following, already we have that. Already this also I showed you there. One more time I am just explaining. And a clear difference also I given you, go through that once. Okay. So we already discussed this earlier also. When working with the links itself, we discussed what is difference between target and window, and with examples also. So go through that. Generally, when you don't practice, you just listen like a audio session, then these kind of doubts will repeat again and again. So you need good practice first. Okay. If you don't practice now, then you will get such kind of repeated doubts, so which are already discussed and clearly learned. Okay, practice, make good practice, then you will have more clarity. Okay, right. So this already we discussed. One more time I am showing you. So when we learned about links, I already given you this. So many FAQs I given related to links. I hope everyone remembered that, right? How do we open in a frame? How do we open in an iframe? So many things we learned now, right? Yeah. Next important, so how we can manage this close print options. So this close can close the window. That means on click, I am just using here window.close. It can close the window. On print, I am defining as window.print. So that means it opens the printer properties. If you want to print any specific portion, that I will tell you later with some logic we can print. Here currently it opens the printer properties. So when I click on preview, it opens in a separate window. When I click on close, it closes that window. And when I click on print, then it opens the printer properties. So printer properties, so that I can invoke the printer and print this current page. So that is done by using these window methods. So window is a browser object, and already we saw one more point. By using window object, we can create global variables. You remember now? Global variables. So by using this window object, we can create global variables where you can store a value and use it anywhere. So window generally is used for handling the browser window. And we have the options like open, like close, like print. And through window, you can even define the global variables, so that global variable in a function, if you remembered, we already discussed that, how to declare global variables inside a function and how do we manage them, right? So this is the basic window object, which is a browser object, and it is used for controlling the browser window. Location object, actually location object will provide set of properties and methods. Location object will provide set of properties and methods that are used to know the client location details. They are used to know the client location details. Client location details, like, so it has host. Host will return the server name or IP address. So we have href. Href will return the complete URL. We have path. So it returns the current path, the current file path. For that we have path. So location is having options like port. So that means it returns the port number. If any port number is there. protocol, it returns which protocol we are using. Returns protocol. Protocol is like HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, which protocol we are using. Search is used to return query string. What is that query string? I will show you. Hash is used to return the hash location. Hash location. These are all the general concepts. These are all the general options available with the location. And location have a method called reload. Reload is a method which is used to reload the current page. So location is a browser object, and this location browser object is going to handle so many things. It is used to access the client location details, like from which server it is accessed, from which port number it is using, which protocol it is, all such things. So we can manage by using this location. So for example, suppose here we are creating another file. Suppose I say location.html. And here I'm just creating a simple program to get all the details and display. Yep. So here we defined HTML head and title and location. In the body section, just I'm designing a data list with a data term. Here I say server name, so or IP address and data definition, and for that ID as server. Okay. And in the next line, I'm using here protocol. So protocol, right? So and data definition ID as protocol. I define protocol. Okay. And another data term is some. Suppose I'm defining href. That means URL. And ID is equal to URL. You can use all the other details also. Here, these are some basic details. And here I'm just defining a button and say get details. And let's keep here a style. So, and wherever data term is there, so some background color, some dark scene, okay, or say dark gray, and color, so say white, okay, and margin bottom. So margin bottom as some 20 pixels. Like this I defined. Now this is the basic design. And we have all this information. That means, so get details has to get the details and display them. The server name, IP address, and the protocol, which protocol we are using, what is the complete URL. So that means on click of this get details. So we call a get details function. This get details function must get the information and display. So we are writing a script. And here we are using get details. That means function get details. And it should get the details and display in this data definition, get element by ID server dot inner HTML. It is a data term actually. It is data definition. In the data definition, we want to display. Here we want to display location dot host. Location dot host, it will get the server name or IP address. And document dot get element by ID. So protocol. So dot inner H here. through location dot protocol, you can get the protocol, and document dot get element by ID URL inner HTML. Through location dot href, we can get the complete URL. We can get the complete URL. So these are the details to display inside these data definitions. And when I run this and I click on, when I click on this get details, it must get the details and display the details. That means you are using this data definitions. So I will keep this better for DT and DD data definition. So margin bottom, that will be little better, and it will get the details and display. So that means this is the server or IP address, and this is the protocol, and this is the complete URL of that particular file that you are accessing. You can get the information. Based on this, we can do a lot of manipulations actually. If you know what is used to get, then based on that, you can do a lot of manipulations. You can handle a lot of manipulations. For example, suppose I want to warn them. So you are using HTTP. So I want to just warn them, right? So then generally, I can just put here. So another data definition. So ID is MSG under the protocol here. And here I'm defining a switch case. I'm configuring a switch case. First, where we will get MSG, document get element by ID, MSG. That is data definition we are accessing. And we can write a condition or a switch I am writing here. Into this location dot protocol, we are passing the protocol. And important, if the protocol is HTTP colon, if the protocol is that, remember HTTP colon is the protocol, how it returns actually. Don't think that I have written the case colon inside it, right? This is the string that it returns. So you have to write in this way. So that means if it is the case, so that means in the case, then we need to define msg.innerHTML. Say, so you are using HTTP. So this is insecure. So that is, and break. If it is like file protocol, then we should display the message.innerHTML. saying that, so you are accessing from file server. So please use web server, something like this. We display, then break. Like this, we can add message for every concept here. Now what happens here is you can see. So currently I am accessing from server. Live server. So I click get details, then it says you are using HTTP insecure. Based on it gets that URL and handles that. Observe here, suppose I am opening this in a separate file explorer, and I am not accessing with server. I am right clicking on that and open in browser. Open with browser, some Chrome or Edge, some browser. This time I am opening the file and viewing the file without server. Then when I click on details, then obviously server name will not come. And you see it says protocol as file, and you are accessing from file server. Please use web server. And this is your URL. That's how it returns the information. That means many times you may come with a complaint like, so this option is not working. So that means host is not working. Host is not working because there is no host at all. That means it's not mandatory like it has to show all the details. It's not mandatory like it has to show all the details. It will show the details only when the situation is matching. If the situation doesn't match, then it cannot access the details, right? So technically, that is the point about accessing the client location details. To access the client location details, to understand the location details, based on that, you can trigger different messages and display those messages. Then you need this location object. By using the location object, you can manage that. So location has server, host, your location has port, location has protocol, location has path. Path means what it will do is it will return only that specific path. That means only the file path. File path means so BOM location.html. That means in which folder it is present. It will return that particular path actually. So you can access all the details. We can configure all the details and define the details. Here, some new things are like search, hash. For this, we need to understand separate. Actually, search is used to get the query string actually. It is used to get the query string. Query string is nothing but actually in HTML and JavaScript, many times in interviews, they ask, how do we transport data from one page to another page? How to navigate from one page to another page? That we know. We can navigate from one page to another page. So how we can navigate from one page to another page? By using location href, you can do that. For example, so here I'm writing another data term. So data term here, go to. So go to, suppose I have some existing pages here. Suppose there is a page shopping. We already created some shopping.html. Okay. So go to shopping page. And here we given a data definition. Here I given a button. So, and here I say click here. And on click. So here on click. We need to go to, that is the function to execute. So here we are writing a function. So go to, and on this function, it should automatically take us to that location. That means then we can use location.href, which is not only used to get the URL, it can set the URL. That means / some shopping.html, to which page it has to navigate. We have to define. Dynamically, we can handle the navigation to any specific page. By using this location href, it navigates to that location. And you can see that it is navigating and it is accessing that location. And you can see when I click here button, it will navigate me to the shopping HTML page. That means we are dynamically navigating. Actually, you might have, you generally may think like already we have links now like that. Actually, links is not the concept. Our concept is, so we need to verify, suppose username and password correct or not. If username password are wrong, then take them to error page. If username and password is correct, then take them to success page. That means based on some logic, we need to dynamically navigate and handle. So which you can manage. Generally, we can manage by using this approach. We can handle that by using this approach. That means by using location. By using location, we can handle that. So technically, location href is set the URL also. Dynamically, you can navigate. But important is, while you are navigating to that page, we need to transport some data also to that page. Usually data can be transported via query string. Query string means data will be already we learned in form concept. So we can submit the form on get, submit the form on post. We discuss a lot of things about HTML, get and post. So many points we discussed. And we already know that when form is submitted on GET request, data will be in query string, right? We already learned about those points. That's the reason HTML is very important for the people who are dealing with JavaScript. Sometimes people, when we start learning, so they generally ask, when you will start JavaScript, I want to attend from JavaScript because he is genius in HTML, but he don't know all these, right? So such people, so who think that they know about everything in HTML, so and without learning all this, they come to JavaScript, everything looks like new because they think they know HTML, but they don't know proper HTML. So then everyone asks, what is this query string, sir? Already we discussed that in HTML. We regular expressions, query strings, so much we have discussed in HTML detailedly. That's the reason we don't need to waste the time again in understanding what is it, how it is submitted on GET, how it is submitted on POST, what is difference between GET and POST. We already learned detailedly. And when you submit on POST, where data will be? Remembered? If you submit on POST, where data will be? If we submit on POST, where data will be? Will it be in query string or somewhere else? Where data will be when you submit the page on POST request? Good. It will be in the form body. Am I right? Right. It will be in the form body. Right? Yes. So if we submit on GET request, it will be in query string. So if we submit on GET request, it will be in query string. And to access the query string, we have to use this location search. Location search is used to access the query string. I will show you here. So suppose what we are doing is we are designing simply a page like search.html is one page, and another page is results.html. So we have two pages, search HTML, results HTML. In search HTML, I'm designing a simple option like head and so title, some search page. And here we designed a body and div and align to center. Okay. And here we defined some font size as suppose 7, or just I will just keep a header. So and I'll just keep this as some health. And below this we have a text box, input type is equal to text, and make sure that this is inside the form because form can submit the data. Form only can submit the data. And name is search. Search string. Okay, and that is the name. And important, I already told you that name is important for submitting the form. Right? Already we learned that. And in the next line, so we defined here a button. So this is search, and this button should be, by default it is submit button. I am making it more clear. Its type is submit. Now form, so on get request, that means form method is get, and on get request it is submitting the data. So that means you are defining action. So action, it has to submit to results.html page. That means form action should be results. What is action? What is method? These all things we learned in HTML. So that means now when you submit the form, so it will automatically go to the results page. Here I am designing the results page. So head section, and this is the results page, results. And here temporarily just I will put a body and say results page, something. Later we will write the logic to collect it. First observe here. So generally what happens is when we are defining this, and let's keep the size of the text box as 40. Okay, now it is like this. I am entering here some name as JavaScript, that is the search string, and click on search button. Then you can observe in the URL, it is going to redirect to the results page. Into the results page, you can see that it is passing this query string, search string. Such string is the text box name, and into that it is passing that value. That is the query string actually it is passing into it. Now, what we can do in results page, we can collect the query string and we can see what he is looking for actually. And we can even show relevant results to him. So generally, so what we can do here now in the results page, I want to display that query string name here. So ID is equal to MSG. On body load, that means on load, body load. When body loads, I need to collect the query string. So that means we are writing a script function, body load. On body load, we need to collect the query string. And we need to display in message. So document dot get element by ID, MSG, dot inner HTML. Here we need to display. And what we need to display here? So we need to display location dot search. Now you can observe what location dot search is going to do is, it is going to return the entire query string. You observe here, go back and here type for HTML and click on search. It has to get that result and display. That means, remember, it is returning entire query string. Now comes your skills of string handling. Now, can you tell me how to access only the word that user is searching? How to access only the word that user is searching, not this entire query string. I need to access the word that comes after this equal symbol. So I hope you can do that because you learned so many days about all these functions and all. You remembered we learned about string functions. Remember the string functions, sir? Remember the string functions? How we can get the value? How we can get the value after that equal symbol? Can you tell any function which is suitable for that? Can you tell any function suitable for that? How we can get only that HTML? That means that search string, not the entire query string. We have to do two things actually. What are the two things we need to do is, first, we need to get the index number of equal. Am I right? We already learned string functions now. So we learned already string functions. We have to get the index number of equal. After accessing the index number of equal, from that equal, we have to read all the data and use that data. So how we can read the data from that particular index? We can read the data from that particular index up to the end. What you can use? Which function is used to read up to end from that location? Which function is used to read up to end from that location? We learned string function. I want to read entire string from that location. Index of equal already gets the index number. How we can read the entire string from that particular location? Which function is used? You practiced all the string functions, huh? Whatever you are learning in string handling, I told you, given you some functions. Have you practiced them? Right? Because whenever we ask some exercises to do, only 2-3 people respond. All other people are dummies. Only just dummies, just attend the session and get out, right? So, but they don't do anything. So such waste of time with them, right? So they don't do practice, they don't learn anything and just attend the sessions, huh? So, and they don't even respond also. So complete dummies are there here. Huh? So we learned about some functions, string functions. Remember them? Remember them? Right? And which string function is used to access the details? Right. So, yes. So here, technically, yes. First, what we have to do is on the load, on the body load, first we will declare a variable str is equal to location dot search. It will get the entire query string. And I will declare another variable just for clarity's sake. So equal position. So that means equal position. To get the equal position, we have to use str dot index of equal. Am I right? We have to get the equal position. Then we need to use, you need to use term. Term is str dot substring by using substring. Am I right? Substring. By using substring, so it has to read from equal position plus 1. Why? Because equal position means it will read equal position also. It will read equal position plus 1. Up to the end, it has to read. And this term must be displayed in document dot get element by id msg dot inner html. Here it should display that term. So that term must be displayed there. This is how we have to manage the string functions. Remember, you cannot handle interviews at full stack developer level if you don't answer such questions. You can't 100%, you will fail. If you don't practice this, if you don't try this, and you just listen to the concept, it's useless. So if you can't answer such simple, silly things and you cannot remember them, you can't be a full stack developer. So forget about interviews. You cannot even go pass through the first level of interview when they ask such small questions. You need to go through every concept that we have learned, detailedly review this. Whatever you have learned, go through the notes, go through the functions, practice, right? Then only you can handle. Otherwise, you are just attending, just done, right? So here you can see that now it is going to get the term here. That means here I am searching for, suppose, JavaScript, and you see it gets that JavaScript term here. We are transporting data to some other page and we are accessing that using it. And remember here in this page, if there are certain topics related to JavaScript, you can search for them and display them also. When you know the search string, you can access and you can search and you can display that. That means, of course, you know how do we maintain the data. Suppose we have some data, var data. So data contains some object. Suppose we have, so here topic, and topic is some JavaScript. And in JavaScript, so we have definition, and the definition is some like JavaScript, yeah. JavaScript is an interpreted and just in time compiled language. Like this, we have given a definition. And in the next option, I defined the topic as HTML. And the definition. So we have definition. So in the definition, we say it is HTML is a markup language. Some paragraphs of information here. Now I need to search for that particular topic. And display that topic related information. So that means here inside this div. That means we got the term and we need to verify, is this term available inside these topics or not? That means we are writing a for loop now. For iterator I will use. For where item, so for where item of collection is data. That means through this we can access every object. And if item dot topic is matching with the term we have defined, is matching with the term, then document dot get element by id. So, and we have to define, so inner html, that means msg dot inner html. So we need to get that and display. That means we need to get item dot definition and display. That's how we are configuring. Otherwise we need to just display document dot get element by id, msg dot inner html. We say, so topic not found. So this message should be displayed there. It should be displayed there. That's what we are configuring here. That means now when I go here, so that means when I go here and we are searching for that here, suppose I said here some option like HTML and click on search, it should get that information about it. So that means we can search, we can get the data and return the data. It depends on how you write the logic, how you configure the logic and define the logic. So technically, suppose when I go back here and I say here, I'm searching for JavaScript and I click on search, it should get some, I think some spelling is wrong. We need to keep these breaks now, right? Because we are using an iterator already, we learned that. So the topic is matching with script. Yes, we need to define the breaks. Already we learned that. That means after searching for the definition and after defining this topic not found, then it should break. It should break to get the details and display. Otherwise it will continue, because already we saw that it searches only for the first one. This is how we can manage. Actually, we don't need to do this type of option also. You remembered, we already learned about filter function. We can use more simplified way. So data dot here, we can write a find option, find. What is difference between find and filter? I told you. Filter is going to display all the details. Find is going to display only specific. By using the find function, so we can search. That means you know that it uses a callback function, and inside this we will pass an item. So item, and we will return here. So we will return here. So technically we are returning here. So return item. So item dot. So topic is matching with the term that you have defined. So that means it will return that particular item, and this we need to store in some result. It will store in result. That means it will get that particular object which is matching with that particular result. And now result related description must be displayed in document get element by id msg dot inner html. So we have to display that result dot definition. It will get the definition of that particular topic and display. There are several techniques of handling it. We already learned the find function. It should get that and display. Just temporarily, I will put an alert here. So result dot topic. It should get that particular topic you searched here and display. You see the topic is coming JavaScript, and it should get the relevant information and display. We can use looping statements. You can use find. So if you are searching for any specific in a lengthy array, don't ever use these looping statements, not required, because we already have better functions like find. So that means you can use the find function. I'm deleting that here. You can use the find function. You can use all your JavaScript array functions that we are working there. So I'm searching for JavaScript. So JavaScript, it will get that JavaScript details and display. We don't need any loops to write at all. Why? Because already we have a find function, we have a filter function. So this find function will search for your topic that is matching with that string and it will return it. These all are very much important to understand and practice very well actually. So these kind of tasks are given especially for UI and full stack developers when they are attending interviews. So a lot of questions are asked relevant to them. That's the reason you need to be very perfect in this logically. Remember, so they ask you to design only when you go to the next level. In the first level, everything will be related to what knowledge you are having in JavaScript. Actually, in UI and full stack developers interviews, so even they don't ask you much questions, anything in HTML. Majority of entire interview happens through on JavaScript first. If you are not great doing in this JavaScript related questions answers, then you are not a good developer. So especially full stack or UI developers, right? So that's the reason you need to be aware of this. So this is search, how we can get that and use it. We have hash and reload like functions and other objects that we will see in next session, right? Tomorrow we will see. Tomorrow we will finish the browser objects. Then we will go into JavaScript OOP concepts. What are the OOP features available and how to use them? This all we need to learn in order to build application, right? Then tomorrow we will discuss about the other JavaScript objects, okay?